What's happening, everybody? Justin, Bridgewater's finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter. I am back in video form, and it is week 7 of my weekly NFL Picks show for the 2014-2015 NFL season. Of course, if you folks caught the week 6 video, you'd know that I was a little bit under the weather. I'm feeling much better now. Still not 100%, but certainly feeling more than capable to get back on camera here to give you my picks for week 7. Still, I kind of feel like I need a little totem. Like, I feel like I need a little motivation, something to really propel me through this video. See, I could take this, which was a trophy I won for winning professional wrestling trivia at the 2014 WrestleMania party held by my friend Cody Notting, but I feel like I need something a little bit bigger. Maybe something like my 2013-2014 Geo Knows Award for Most Entertaining YouTube Prognosticator finally came in the mail. Thank you so much to Geo of geoknows.com, youtube.com/geoknows. He is one of the best football prognosticators on the planet. He's also one of the genuinely nicest guys that does this, and he puts these awards together every year. Of course, as I mentioned, last year I won for Most Entertaining YouTube Prognosticator, so I was very happy to finally get this sucker in the mail. So that is just the piece of motivation I need. I'm just going to straighten that up so I get a real nice view of it. Just the motivation I need. We're going to go through my week 6 picks, which I was quite successful in week 6, before we get into the picks for week 7. So we're going to start with the big 3 against the spread from week 6. Now, as I mentioned, I was, I believe, 6-8-1 going into my picks for week 6. Had a good week 6. I went 2-1. I told you to take San Diego -7. That did not work out. Oakland kind of got the better of them earlier in the game. San Diego ends up winning, but they didn't cover that spread. So it was a loss there. But I correctly told you to take Indianapolis -3, as well as San Francisco -3.5. They came back to beat the Rams on Monday night. So I was 2-1 last week on the big 3 against the spread. Puts me at 8-9-1 on the year. So I'm real close to getting back to 500 there, as I had dropped down. It was not looking that good for the first little while, but we're at another 2-1. I think that's back-to-back 2-1 weeks now. So we're getting better, pushing back towards 500, which I hope to hit after this week. And I had a moderately successful week overall against the spread. I ended up going 8-7, so you know what? Happy side of par on that, which I wasn't feeling real good about going into the Sunday Nighter. Going into the Sunday Nighter, I was only 6-7, so I needed the Sunday Nighter and the Monday Nighter to work out. Both of those ended up working out for me. So I was 8-7 against the spread last week. Has me at a mark of 43-46-2 overall against the spread this year. So again, moving in the right direction. Taking a look at my platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks from week 6. We're going to start with the bronze pick. I told you to take Tennessee over Jacksonville. That ended up working out by the skin of the Titans' teeth. Tennessee beats Jacksonville 16-14. The Titans only surviving with a blocked game-winning field goal attempt late in the game. Cecil Shorts III, of note, makes his return for Jacksonville and puts up a huge line, 16 catches for 103 yards. That is a big weapon for Blake Bortles moving forward in that Jacksonville offense, the much maligned Jacksonville offense. But Tennessee gets it done by blocking that field goal. Silver pick, I told you to take the Green Bay Packers to beat the Miami Dolphins. Another game that barely worked out, skin of their teeth. Green Bay gets by Miami 27-24. I've said it before, I will say it again. Aaron Rodgers is the pigskin cheat code. Helped in no small part by a fake spike that gets the Packers inside the 10-yard line. Rodgers throws a game-winning touchdown pass to the tight end Andrew Quarless with 3 seconds left in the game for the Packers to go over the Dolphins 27-24. A phenomenal finish there for Green Bay. For the gold pick, I told you to take the Seattle Seahawks at home to beat Dallas. That was probably the surprise of the week this week. Dallas ends up beating Seattle 30-23. That score really does not belie just how dominant Dallas was in this game. They really, really were. They dominated, surprisingly, both sides of the ball. You look at Seattle's offense, they really, really, really had trouble moving the ball against Dallas, which is a surprise considering the opponent and a surprise considering that Seattle was at home. The Seattle offense only manages 8 first downs, 206 total yards, and only 1 offensive touchdown. So it was a real struggle for the Seahawks, and Dallas really came up and smacked one of the perennial, it turns out, Super Bowl contenders in the mouth with this win, and they proved that they are legit and they are a serious contender in the NFC. And for the platinum pick of Week 6, I told you to take Denver to beat the Jets. That ended up working out. It was a closer game than the score would indicate. Denver wins the game 31-17. This was 24-17, and was it not for a last-minute pick 6 that Geno Smith throws to Aqib Talib, the game was a lot closer. The Jets had the chance. They had the ball in their hands to try to tie this game against Denver. Didn't end up working out for the Jets, unfortunately. What kind of surprised me in this game, the Jets defense actually forced Denver to punt more than the reverse. Denver forces the Jets to punt 7 times. The Jets forced Denver to punt 8 times. That really, really did surprise me that the Jets kind of held that offense in check for the most part. And again, had it not been for that last-minute pick 6 to Aqib Talib, the game was a lot closer than the final score indicates. But Denver does move on 31-17. So I got my platinum, got my silver, and got my bronze. I missed the gold. My ratings for all of those so far on the year: 5-1 for the platinum, only 2-4 on my gold pick, so I got to turn that around. Silver pick's 4-2. The bronze pick is 3-3. Straight up in Week 6, I went 10-4-1. We, of course, had our first tie game of the year. So 10-4-1, 55 up, 35 down, and 1 tie for the season. That's looking a lot better than it was a couple of weeks ago. And taking a look at the results in the Bridgewater's Finest Pick'em Pool for Season 3, everybody had a phenomenal week this week. So I had a really good week, but I actually lost ground to some of the teams in front of me. Currently sit 24th out of 37 with 471 out of 739 possible confidence points. That is a clip of 64% on the season. So I am moving forward in that regard. Helped out by an 80% week this week. I put up 96 out of 120 possible confidence points. But shout out to our Week 6 winner, Jurrell the Beast Casey, who had a beastly week. 12-2-1 in Week 6, put up 110 out of 120 possible confidence points. That is a clip of 92%. That was phenomenal, the best week that we've had so far in the Pick'em League. And we also have a new overall leader, which is huge. The Hope for the Hopeless is the new overall leader. The Hope for the Hopeless, 63 up, 27 down, and 1 on the season. A great straight-up record. 515 out of 739 possible confidence points for a season clip of 70%. A lot of competition here. I found some great pick'em managers this year, apparently. So, again, shout out to Jurrell the Beast Casey for winning Week 6, and to Hope for the Hopeless for being our new overall leader. I'll take this opportunity to remind you that if you go to the description of this video, you're going to be able to find all of my results from Week 6. You're going to be able to find all of my against the spread picks for Week 7. You're going to be able to find details on how to join the Bridgewater's Finest Pick'em Pool. Believe me, it is not too late. Definitely get in there for your chance to get shouted out on the video. And you can also find links to other high-quality YouTube NFL prognosticators, including Gio Knows, who once again I have to thank for my wonderful trophy. But you can find links to a lot of other people that do this. They're all great. They all make fantastic videos. All of that can be found in the description to this video. All right, folks, let's get into it. Week 7 picks. We're going to start with the big 3 against the spread. I got 3 real good ones for you this week. My number 3 play on the big 3 against the spread is going to come in the New Orleans at Detroit game. Detroit is favored by 3 points at home. The Lions are coming off of a big 17-3 win against Minnesota last week, while New Orleans was on their bye. The Lions are a bit of a surprise to me so far this year. On the defensive side of the ball, in terms of yards allowed, Detroit is really, really up there. You look on the other side of the ball, New Orleans is one of those preseason darlings in terms of playing defense, and it really has not shown up this year. New Orleans defense, probably one of the disappointments of the league. The elephant in the room here, unfortunately for the Lions, is the status of Calvin Johnson. Yesterday, NFL.com reported that the Lions could sit Johnson until week 10. So they could be without arguably the biggest weapon in the NFL still for a couple of weeks here. Golden Tate has done well in Calvin Johnson's absence, but you just can't replace Calvin Johnson on the offense. And the Lions are kind of getting their run game going. Joik Bell scored a touchdown last week, so he's kind of getting it going. The Saints are well rested here coming off the bye, and I actually think that this is a game that they could win straight up, given that the Lions do not have Calvin Johnson and that Matthew Stafford really has been struggling a bit this year. I should know. I have him on my fantasy team. I'm actually going to go with the Saints here. 3 points is not too much for the Lions, but as I said, I think the Saints could win this game outright, even though it's in Detroit. So the number 3 play on my big 3 against the spread this week, I'm going to tell you to take New Orleans +3 at Detroit. My number 2 play on the big 3 against the spread this week comes in the Minnesota at Buffalo game. Buffalo favored by 5.5 at home. Both of these teams suffered convincing losses in Week 6. Buffalo dropping a 37-22 decision to the Patriots. The Patriots starting to look like the Patriots again, where, as we already mentioned, Minnesota lost 17-3 to Detroit. Buffalo's offense under Kyle Orton has looked decent. Meanwhile, the Vikings' offense appears to be in shambles. Teddy Bridgewater is not looking as effective as he would need to be, especially to beat Buffalo on the road. You can probably see where I'm going with this. The Bills did manage to put up over 300 total yards on the Patriots last week, and would it not have been for their 3 turnovers, the game was probably going to be a little bit closer. Given that they're at home, I think Buffalo's got enough of an edge here to beat Minnesota straight up. The 5.5 points is not too many, so my number 2 play on the big 3 against the spread this week, I'm going to tell you to take Buffalo -5.5 at home to Minnesota. And my top play on the big 3 against the spread this week comes in the Seattle at St. Louis game. St. Louis are 6.5 point underdogs at home. Seattle, as we mentioned, lost that game to Dallas 30-23, and really, as we said, the offense in that game did not look good at all. Meanwhile, St. Louis had a great start on Monday night against San Francisco, putting up the first 14 points of the game, and Austin Davis really looking like a solid quarterback. That being said, they completely fell apart later in the game, and San Francisco ended up rolling over them, beating them on Monday night. I kind of feel like we could be looking at the same thing here. I actually expect St. Louis to kind of get off to a quick start. Seattle had trouble getting out of its own way, both offensively and defensively, and they're hitting the road where they are a markedly different, worse team when they play on the road. That said, it's a step up in competition for St. Louis. It's a step down in competition to Seattle. As long as Seattle doesn't play down to their competition, which they are known to do, Seattle should have a fairly easy time winning this game. I might be a fool for thinking you do want to see me again, but for my top play on the big 3 against the spread this week, I'm going to go with the Super Bowl champs. I'm going to tell you to take Seattle -6.5 at St. Louis. So let's look at the platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks for Week 7 in the NFL. We start with the bronze pick, where, as I mentioned, I am 3-3. My bronze pick for Week 7 comes in the Miami at Chicago game. Last week, Chicago had a surprising road win, beating Atlanta in Atlanta, where Atlanta has been juggernauts this year. And as we mentioned, the Miami Dolphins losing that heartbreaker at home to the Green Bay Packers. Ryan Tannehill has played admirably for the Dolphins this year, but what this game came down to for me is, do I think the Miami Dolphins can stop Matt Forte? And the answer to that question is no. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Forte is a beast. He is dominant, and watching him in his game the last week was just, I mean, he ran all over the Falcons. It's not like the Falcons have a great defense, but at the same time, Matt Forte was just shredding them. Honestly, I don't think the Dolphins can stop Matt Forte. I don't think the Dolphins can stop Brandon Marshall. I don't think the Dolphins can stop Alshon Jeffrey. I don't think the Dolphins can stop anyone on Chicago. I expect this to be an offensive clinic at Soldier Field. For my bronze pick, I'm going to take the Chicago Bears at home to beat the Dolphins. Moving to my silver pick, where I'm 4-2 on the year, my silver pick comes in the Atlanta at Baltimore game. This to me seems like the biggest betting mismatch of the week this week. You have arguably the worst road team in the league coming into one of the best home teams in the league. Now, the record may only be 1-1 or 2-1 or whatever it is, but you go back over the last 5 years, Baltimore's almost unbeatable at home. And you put them in Baltimore after Joe Flacco just put up 5 touchdown passes in the first half last week. Chalk it up to me being a little bit of a Ravens fan if you must, but I just don't see the Falcons beating Baltimore in Baltimore. So for my silver pick, I'm going to tell you to take the Ravens at home to beat the Falcons. Moving to the gold pick, where, as I said, I am only 2-4 on the year. My gold pick comes in the Arizona at Oakland game. The Cardinals are coming off their bye, and Oakland, of course, is coming off of that aforementioned 3-point loss to San Diego. The Raiders surprised me last week by putting up 28 points on the Chargers. The Chargers have a real good defense. The fact that Oakland did put up 28 points on them is encouraging for Raiders fans. All questions or fears about the ability of Carson Palmer to throw the football should probably have been answered by now. Again, the Cardinals coming off their bye, they're going to be well rested. Oakland is at home, but Oakland is also 0-3 at home and has given up 30 points in every single one of their home games so far this year. So for my gold pick, I am going to tell you to take the Arizona Cardinals on the road to beat Oakland. And to the platinum pick, where I am 5-1 on the season. My platinum pick, the New York Jets coming into Gillette Stadium to play the Patriots. So it looks like they've lost Ridley for the year, and Shane Vereen has been kind of unremarkable so far. I mean, they could very easily turn to Brandon Bolden. So the ground game might not be anything to write home about, but it looks like Tom Brady has woken up, and a woken up Tom Brady is bad news for anybody. The Jets, as we mentioned, had a chance to beat the AFC champs, had a chance to take down Denver, and Geno Smith let it fall through his fingers. Is this the week that we see Michael Vick take over the starting job? It seems to be a question that we ask every week. It's an impossible one to answer, but a question that is real easy to answer is, will the New York Jets go into Gillette Stadium and beat the Patriots? The answer to that question is hell no. I know it's a divisional game, but the line here is New England -10. I'm going to tell you to take New England -10, and for my platinum pick, I'm taking New England straight up to beat the Jets at home. Now it's time to take a look at the rest of my Week 7 picks straight up in the National Football League 2014-2015. Feels good to be back on video, and here's the rest of the picks. That's the Week 7 show for you folks. Comments, hate, and love, you know where they go. Comment section below. It's time for the comment of the week, which I'm happy to actually be able to read to you this week since I'm on here. The comment of the week from the Week 6 video goes to John Robertson. He had a long one here in response to me asking whether or not Russell Wilson was the best playmaking quarterback in the NFL. He had some really good insights. John Robertson says, "While I'll stand by the fact I believe Andrew Luck was the best overall QB coming out of the 2012 draft, Russell Wilson is by far the best playmaking QB out of the draft in the last 6 years or so. While being a Packers fan and having a bias, Aaron Rodgers is one of the better playmakers in the NFL and may very well be the best in the league currently with a high playmaking ability, and Luck also deserves to be in that discussion. But with that being said, Luck and Rodgers have more ability in other aspects. Wilson's best asset is his playmaking ability, which is really saying something about the kid. Therefore, I give the nod to him as the best playmaker, but not best quarterback." That's excellent insight, John. I 100% agree with you, and I'm glad that you pointed out Aaron Rodgers and Andrew Luck. 100% agree with you. Great comment. That is the comment of the week from the Week 6 video. That is going to be it for me, Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter. Thank you so much. It feels good to be back. There's the Week 7 picks, and we'll see you again for week number 8.